Something which is also huge is the news of the new Absolva album.
Yes,
It
yes,
was
indeed.
released last May, wasn't it?
Yeah, 16th of May.
And it's a bit of Western inspired, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of loosely based on
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
the film Tombstone from the 90s with Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer and Sam Elliott. And we took a lot of influence from this when we were younger, myself and my brother Luke. And we took a lot of influence from that kind of story. And we thought, you know, we've kind of gone futuristic with our themes on our Absolver albums. We've done different things. We've done apocalyptic, and we
Mm-hmm.
thought, let's try something completely different. Let's go for a Western. You know, it's something that, you know, definitely kids growing up enjoy, and we've kind of always had that with our songwriting. We always kind of think, well, what would the 12-year-old Chris and Luke think of this? And like, oh, we'd love it, we'd love it. So yeah, it's a Western theme, but not every song. You know, we've got lots of different topics that we're singing about on the new album. We've gone for a slightly different approach with the mixing and the production on the album. Um, it was all put together very fast, Costas. You know, it was we didn't spend hours and hours and hours mixing every fine detail. We said, listen, let's put these guitars on these drums, put this bass down, sing the song, and if I've not got a good vocal take after 2 or 3 takes, we move on. We go to the next one. We tried to keep it very, very fresh and quite, you know, we still worked on the songs but still kept it quite spontaneous. But sometimes you can suck the life out of something if you spend so long on it, and then you kind of lost the magic that you had those, you know, first few times. So I think that's been a real good thing about this album. Everything still sounds exciting. So and some guests. We've got some guests, which
We
is
know, we heard, we read about it. But first of all, let me say that the title of the album is Justice,
yeah.
or with your fantastic northern, or should I say Midlands accent, it's kind of sounds like justice, something like that.
Justice. Yeah,
Justice, which was very manly and very, Braveheart style and really, really westerny. We brought this new album, and of course, you have some great collaborations like Blaze Bayley singing
yeah.
Atlas with you guys.
Well, that was a big song for us because after the last time we Absolver played in Greece, I said to Luke, says on this next album we must do a song and dedicate it to our Greek fans. And Luke had this idea for quite a long time to do a song about Atlas, you know, the Titan, the giant, and I wanted to feature some Greek words and a Greek phrase, and we came up with this thing where we're going to call the song Atlas and brackets War Between the Gods, and I thought that's a great phrase. I wonder if I can find out what War Between the Gods in Greek is, and it's the polemos metaxy ton theon. And
Precisely.
then I tried to say this down the microphone, but try and imagine how Christopher Lee would say it, you know, polemos metaxy ton theon. And I thought, this just sounds like someone from Manchester saying it. So then, when we were on tour in Greece over the few years, we've made lots of friends. And there was our friend from Thessaloniki, Konstantinos, from the band Serpent Lord. So I sent him a message. I said, "This is what I've got. Would you like to send me your interpretation of saying polemos metaxi ton theon?" And he said, sure, what's it for? I said, I'll tell you later. So he recorded this in Greek for me, and then I put it into the track and put some weird effects on it, and it just sounded much better than me saying it. So, yeah, and it was great to have someone, you know, who was Greek to actually feature on the track. And then, of course, having Blaze to sing the track with us, everything just came together. So finally, we have a song dedicated for our Greek fans.
Next time you have such a great idea, you call me for interpretation of a Greek phrase, okay?
Yeah.
I promise I'll do my best.
Yeah, well, maybe you could come and sing it for us at the show next time we're in Greece.
Yeah, and everybody will leave, but it's okay then. It's okay then. Speaking of, you know, concerts and upcoming events, you are going to be on tour for July 5th or something. Am I correct?
Yeah, we've got the album launch festival is at our festival, the SOS Festival, and it's also our new lineup, Costas. You know, because we've got Tom Atkinson is back on the guitar from the first Absolva album. He was the guitarist. He has come back after 12 years, and Luke has gone back onto his first instrument, the bass guitar, and it's been absolutely fantastic in rehearsals. So it's the launch of our new lineup, launch of the new album. And of course, I've got Martin back. Martin's not been very well over the past few months, which has been absolutely horrible for me. Because I've never ever had another drummer for almost 20 years. Martin has always been the drummer in every band that I have been in. So on the last couple of tours we did with Blaze Bayley, we had to get some standing drummers who were both absolutely fantastic. But, you know, it's almost like a piece of your heart still somewhere else when I've not got Martin McNee sat behind me. So Martin's back, Luke's back on bass, and I think I kind of forgot what an absolutely outstanding bass player Luke is. You know, I kind of remembered why he got the job with Iced Earth, you know, in the end, you know, when he got back in there. And then the reunion for me and Tom on guitar, that was the original twin guitar attack for Absolva. But weirdly enough, the four of us, we've never actually been all of us at the same time in the same band together. So it's really fresh, but having a new lineup, and nobody really needs to get to know each other because we've all known each other for years. Has been really, really cool, and you know, there's a lot of special things happening. So there we're doing SOS Festival. Then we've got Made in Stone Festival with Michael Schenker down in the south of England. Then we're heading over to Germany and Belgium. We've got some shows and some festivals happening over there. We've got some more in the UK. So yeah, I've been talking to Christos from Made of Stone Greece, and we've been talking for a long time. And I said to him, I want to do a 12-show tour of Greece, every small town, every corner of Greece. I want to come and do an Absolva headline tour. I don't know. We'll call it the we'll call it 32 Degrees Tour or something.
Well, you can always name it the Atlas of Tours, and you should be like, yeah, 12 shows. I mean, you've done like, I don't know, 6 or 7 at the most. Most shows done in Greece in one take.
Yeah,
5 or 6.
Over the years, we've done a lot. But I said to him, I said, you know, I want to go to all the small clubs. I want to go to all the grassroots places. It's been a long time since we've been out there, and I think there'll be a lot of people that will be really excited we're going to their small town. but I think there'll be a lot of new people. There's a lot of younger people coming in who are Absolva fans, Iron Maiden fans, Ice Earth fans. A lot of younger people discovering all this kind of British heavy metal music. So I want to see those guys, and they may have never heard of Absolva before. So, I'm very interested in finding those people. And it's a good excuse to spend 12 days in Greece, so.
At least, say the least. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be awesome. By the way, that would be awesome, and we will be very happy to have you in Absolva playing live in all the countries, all the cities that you will put on the map of the tour.
Yeah, fantastic.
You said you're going to play with Mikhail Schenker in Made the Stone Festival. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right now, Mikhail, he has with him a Greek singer, R.D. Liapakis from Mystic Prophecy. Yeah. Leah is fluent in Greek. So when you meet up with those guys, you say, listen, Leah, I know you're fluent in Greek, so do me a favor and get on stage and do that thing with the polemos, theon, okay? Do that.
Yeah.
Or else.
I think it sounds like everybody's going to be fighting over saying this this phrase with us. So.
It's amazing. It's a great thing that you thought about that. It's a great thing you put it on the album. And it's a great thing that it will happen live.
Yeah.
Chris, do you think we can talk about Fury UK? Is that all right?
Of course, we have to talk about it every time.
Yes, we do. What's the story now? What's going on?
Well, it's probably more current than ever before now that Luke's returned to bass in Absolva. So we actually say, because this lineup is sounding so fantastic, I suddenly go to myself, is this sounding really cool? Because I forgot how much of this incredible sound Martin and Luke do as a rhythm section back in the Fury UK days. Or is it sounding great because we've got Tom Atkinson back on guitar and it's the original Flames of Justice twin guitar attack? Or maybe it's both. Maybe it's, because we've got this incredible rhythm section and the twin guitar is back. But it does ask a question. As soon as Luke came back on that bass, it's like, well, 3/4 of this band now is Fury UK. We were only ever a 3-piece band. So we've never said that we've split up. We only ever said we're on hiatus, although now it's been a 13-year hiatus. But maybe I still say, I'd never say never to performing those songs again in Absolva, and I don't know if that would work with some of the fans, if they really want to see the 3-piece band, because that was part of the magic. I don't know. It's one of those questions where, I think a lot of bands sometimes get asked, oh, why don't you do this? Because it was great, 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I'm sure Robert Plant gets bored of being asked, oh, why don't you do another Led Zeppelin gig? But yeah, I've never closed the door on it. I've never closed the door. In front of me, I've got a framed. Well, I'll show you. I've got a framed. I've got a framed sketch of Motorhead.
Fantastic. The ultimate 3-piece.
The ultimate 3-piece band, in my opinion, and so I always look up at that in my office, and I go, oh yeah, and I've got the T-shirt to.
I noticed.
So yeah. It's one of those things. I'll never close the door on it. It's just wait and see. The timing has to be right.
When you're done with the tour, are you going to make something of set up like going to the States, or thinking about opening the door to the States, probably doing something else? What do you have in mind for further promoting Justice?
Well, for the next thing, well, I think when I'm done with this tour, I've got a lot of plans for next year already. But when I'm home, I really like to be at home, you know. So some people always ask me, says, "Oh yeah, what's your perfect holiday?" And I said, "Not traveling is my perfect holiday. Just staying in one place for longer than a week is like a luxury." But yeah, I'm very excited about this new album and very excited about this new lineup. I've already started coming up with ideas for the next album, which we're probably going to start working on very soon. Because everything, you've got to do everything so much more in advance than it used to be. You know, you could record an album in 2 months and then have it manufactured, and then within 6 months you've got it released. That's just kind of the old days now. Everything we've got to do is 12 months, 18 months, 2 years in advance. You know, I've already started booking gigs for Blaze in 2027. You know, that's my life of getting confused. So yeah, what I really want to do with Absolva is in 2 years we'll be celebrating our 15th anniversary. So over the next 2 years, I'd really like to really work on these territories that I love so much, but really just build that little bit more with the fan base. And so when we do have our 15th anniversary tour, I can do this really, really cool UK and European tour and really go after our stronghold cities to celebrate the anniversary. So that's everything that's building up at the moment.
We talked about Justice being released. We talked about the collaborations. And I would like to ask you about the feedback so far. It's almost been a month, so you must be hearing something from the press, from the fans, you know, the internet tweets. So what comes over your head, over your ears? What do you hear about the new album?
Well, it's funny you say that, because when it comes up to release date, I think that I get more nervous coming up to release date than I do when I'm having to finish the mixing off, because you're at the mercy of all these people that love your music, all the fans. So you almost get worried of, oh my God, what if they don't like it? You know, that's what's inside of you, and then suddenly I start going, oh my God, what if they don't like it? What if they hate it? You know, so that goes through my mind a lot, and you know, so you suddenly feel like, oh my God, what if this is our Saint Anger? You know, you know, this is what happens.
It's a good thing you didn't say Lulu.
Well, I saw her last night with Rod Stewart at Glastonbury. She was very good.
Oh, yeah, great live. But
I think the thing is that there's two things really. You kind of put a lot of pressure on yourself as a musician, but also I think what I've kind of developed, certainly over the past 5 years, is I've kind of not accepted, but I've kind of been more comfortable. Like, this is Absolva. This is how we sound. It's a little bit of the AC/DC thing. So I'm like, as long as we stick to our sound, it's got my voice. We're always going to have this big twin solo harmonies. We're going to have big choruses. We're going to have big drums. All of our music sounds unrelentlessly and unapologetically British. You know, we certainly always have our influences from Saxon, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, all this kind of, you know, late 70s, early 80s sound, but in the modern era. So I kind of feel a bit more comfortable knowing that that's what our fans like about Absolva. So you know, I'm not going to release Dark Side of the Moon, you know, for the next release. It's still going to be in the bracket of this is an Absolva sound, this is an Absolva album. And, you know, I want to explore different things, different sounds and different subjects of songs and that kind of thing. But I'm in that Absolva bubble. When you get a CD or you put it on Spotify, Absolva, and you close your eyes and you go, that's definitely Absolva. I've heard the voice, I've heard the guitars, you just know straight away. It's a bit like if you closed your eyes and Black Sabbath came on in the car on the radio, you know it's Black Sabbath. Same with Dio and all these other great bands. And I think that's what I like about what we've developed is that, you know, you definitely know it's Absolva when we come on the radio or we're on the CD player. So that's my comfort with it all. So but yeah, the response from the fans luckily has been very, very good. You know, they've loved it. They've loved the Western theme. They've loved the artwork that's a little bit different. They've loved the sound. So me taking a chance a little bit on the production and everything has actually worked. So so I'm very happy. And all the guests, you know, we've had David Marcellis, Stu Block from Iced Earth, Blaze, Ronnie Romero, who did a fantastic job. You know, we've become quite close friends with Ronnie now. So that was a kind of an idea that Luke had. He said, why don't we have some guest singers on? And I'm like, sounds like a lot of work. So I've always kind of pushed the idea to one side. But he finally got his way on this album. So, and it's worked again. It was the first album that we brought back the big choir backing vocals, where we got 6 to 8 guys standing round one microphone to give us this huge backing vocal sound. And it's definitely a sound that relates to, you know, those big Accept songs and those early Bon Jovi kind of sounds. You cannot replicate that sound with any kind of digital sampler or anything. You have to do it. You have to get the more people in front of a microphone and double track to get this huge sound. And I love that. You know, I love big vocals and big, make it sound like there's 1,000 people marching across a hill, you know. So it's really, really cool. As you can tell, I'm a little bit excited.
You should be, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Chris. We wish you nothing but the best for Justice and, of course, the upcoming tour. I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking again soon.
Yeah, hope
doing
so. Yeah.
one of your 12 shows in Greece, or maybe even more. And being Justice rules okay, right?
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Take care of yourself. All the best.
Cheers, Kostas.
See you soon.